Now, my Dandavat to you, Dandavat to all of the devotees, and let us begin today with the pranam slightly longer than we usually do. First of all, we'll do Om Gyan Timrandasya. Then we will chant the Pranam Mantra for Gurudev and for Guru Maharaj, and we don't want to stop there actually. Saraswati, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Maybe we'll chant the Guru Parampara, up to Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Many of you know these off by heart. If not, if you can get a copy of the songbook, or maybe Praneshwari's, I don't know whether it's something she can do in a moment. She can pull up those verses, because Varun probably doesn't know. But I think probably everybody's back. Parama Bhakti may not know by heart. I do not know. Vṛndāvan Supurakam.
Look who's coming, Maharaj, from India.
Who's coming from India? Oh, now he's come from, you've got a vision. You saw him coming before he arrived. So Praneshwari saw Keshavananda Prabhu coming before he arrived. So now we've got Keshavananda Prabhu with us. We've got our inside man in Vṛndāvan down. So Keshavananda will come to you in a moment. We're just about to say Om Gyan Timrandasya, then Gurudev, then the Parampara up to Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj is the individual Pranam Mantras. Then Vanchakaup, then Om Gyan, then Vanchakaupatrubhyascha, then Namo Mahavaranyaya. But it is good for us to say the Pranam Mantras for our specific gurus, and we can come to them today. All right, and Sevā Devidasi in Mexico also is with us. Sevā Devi, very, very much welcome. And to you and all of your family, my obeisances too. All right, so let us begin. Are you seated comfortably? Then let us begin. So, where are we starting? Where are we starting? Om Gyan, yes. Okay, let's start with Om Gyan. Then Gurbhabhista. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurbhabhista Supurakam Guru Ganair Ashisha Shambhushitam Chintya Chintya Sumastaveda Nipunam Shri Rupa Pantanuga Govinda Vidhamujvalang Varatanam Bhaktyanvitam Sundaram Vande Vishwagurum Tradipya Bhagavat Prem No Hi Bija Pradam. Into Guru Maharaj Devam Divyatanam Sachandavadanam Balaka Chalantritam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranang Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhaktilasitam Saraswatanam Varam Bande Tam Shubhadam Madakesharanam Nyashishwaram Sridharam. Into Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati iti vidito Gauriya Gurvan Baye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Mayavada Timingiloda Ragatan Udritya Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabhigahan Asukang Pradat Prabhum Tang Vaje. Then to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Namo Gaura Kishoraya Bhaktavaduta Mutaye Gaurangri Padmanabhingaya Radha Bhavan Nashevane. Into Bhakti Vinod. Vande Bhakti Vinodanam Shri Gaura Shakti Sarupakam Bhakti Shastra Gyasam Rajam Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhim. and then to Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. What's the first line? Turn on your microphone, Keshavananda.
No, I've forgotten. Gaura Vrajashita Sheshaya.
Gaura, okay, to Jagannath Das Babaji. Normally we say it in a flow when we stop. It's like walking. It's like walking along the stairs. If you start thinking what your legs are doing, you trip up. Okay, so Gaura, start us again. Microphone, Keshavananda, start us again.
Gaura Vrajashita Sheshaya.
Gaura, 3, 2, 1. While we have it in our Gaura Vrajashita Sheshaya Vaishnavir Vandya Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Premabhing Vriddha Vaishnavam. Okay, then Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha, this is to all the devotees. Kripa Bindu, no, Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Bindu. Okay, Keshavananda, open your microphone and say it. Oh,
Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. The Vaishnavas. All
right. And the next one, I probably can remember it without any help, but Pancha Tattva Maha Mantra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vṛnda. Hare Krishna. This one, I think I know. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Anyway, an example of automated and consciousness, because we do say how many hundreds, I mean hundreds and hundreds of times we've said these mantras, but then when we try to stop and at 4 in the morning in our part of the world, I have a little request for leniency. Then we trip up. Anyhow, I wanted to chant their Pranam Mantras today, and we can also begin with reading the translation of Srila Gurudev's Pranam Mantra. And so, Om Gyantimarandasya, we do know, we've been through this on the basics course. So we've been through this pretty much word by word. It is our obeisances to the spiritual master who has opened our eyes. So let us come to the Gaudiya Gitanjali, and somewhere near the beginning, let us try to find these verses. So Om Gyantimarandasya, applying the soothing salve of Sambandha Gyan, knowing the relationship of the Jiva soul with Krishna. Oh, a proper acquaintance with the environment. Okay. My spiritual master has opened my inner eye and thereby rescued me from the darkness of ignorance, fulfilling my life's aspirations. I offer my respects unto Sri Gurudev. Jai. So now specifically, then our mantra, this Gurbhavishta Supurakam Guru Ganai Rashisha Shambhushita. The mantra to Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Govindadev Goswami Maharaj. And here, his most cherished wishes, his Guru's most cherished wishes, he's truly fulfilling, adorned with his Guru Varga's affectionate blessing. In knowledge, both conceivable and inconceivable, his expertise illumines the ontological whole. He's the foremost follower of Sri Rupa's divine aim Sri Bhakti Sundar Govinda is his celebrated name. His beautiful figure stands out, clean, clear, and effulgent, devotionally endowed with transcendent sentiment. I worship him, the worldwide Guru from high above, the empowered bestower of the seed of divine love. And actually this translation is in poetry form, but I suppose they didn't have enough space to keep it in poetry form when they made the book in this way. So this is in glorification of Srila Govinda Maharaj, fulfilling Guru Maharaj, his Guru's wishes. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's come to Guru Maharaj. We'll just read these for today. We'll just read them one by one. So as we have Keshavanandapu with us, Keshavanandapu, please read. If you have in front of you, please read the translation for Guru Maharaj's translation. Guru Maharaj's Pranam Mantra. Evam Divyatanam Satchandavadanam Balakachalantritam Sandrananda Puram Sarekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Sri Siddhanta Nidhi Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Param Vande Tang Shubhadam Madakesharanam Yashishwaram Srila. Jai Guru
Maharaj.
And this is actually, all of these are in poetry form. And if you have the yellow covered book, which is the 7th edition of the songbook, they're in there in poetic style.
That's the version I have here, Marge, the 7th.
Okay, so you can read it sort of,
edition.
you can read it sort of with verse meter. If you
Poetic
can.
style. I fall at the feet of Srila Sridhar Deva, who with charming expression sings his songs of sweet nectar, dressed with fine garments like sun newly risen. He's the true saint the devotees have chosen. His detachment and knowledge are just like an ocean, the treasure house of complete, perfect conclusion, radiant in pastimes of loving devotion, the abode of pure ecstasy, bestower of good fortune, foremost true follower of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, foremost great general of the whole renounced order, my Lord and my Master, my only shelter, I worship his feet, Srila Sridhar Deva.
Yes, I fall at the feet of Srila Sridhar Deva, who with charming expression sings his songs of sweet nectar, dressed with fine garments like sun newly risen. He's the true saint the devotees have chosen. His detachment and knowledge are just like an ocean, the treasure house of complete, perfect conclusion, radiant in pastimes of loving devotion, the abode of pure ecstasy, bestower of good fortune, foremost true follower of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, foremost great general of the whole renounced order, my Lord and my Master, my only shelter, I worship his feet, Srila Sridhar Deva. So beautiful. We can repeat this verse again and again and again. Hare Krishna. So let us, who is with us? Let me look on the screen gallery. Who has joined us? All right. Maybe Jivana Devidasi. Jivana, would you like to read Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Pranam Mantra. I'll put it on the screen if you wish to read it here.
Okay, but I'm kind of a cheater always, Maharaj, so I do have the book.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I can read that.
Okay, perfect.
This is for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in the great Gaudiya Vaishnava teacher's line. As Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he's renowned. Like the radiant sun in the morning sky, he appeared to rescue all souls swallowed by the all-devouring impersonal philosophy. By spreading the teachings of Lord Gauranga to sing the holy name of Lord Sri Krishna, he gave all the chance to dive into the ocean of love of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Person. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, my Lord, my Divine Master, at his feet do I pray to serve him forever.
Yeah.
Yes, and what is on the screen, this is the poetic form, but still in this edition of the book, then the creators of the book didn't put the line breaks all in the right place. So on the fourth line, it should be, he appeared to rescue all souls swallowed by, next line, the all-devouring impersonal philosophy, because then it fits with the sky. Like the radiant sun in the morning sky, he appeared to rescue all souls swallowed by the all-devouring impersonal philosophy. And then it should be on the little bit further down, he gave all the chance to dive in the ocean, next line, of love of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Person. Anyhow, just so you know that these have been rendered into English, which makes it kind of sweet for our recitation. All right, so Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Short and super sweet, and maybe Chinmoy Dev Prabhu can read for us. Chinmoy Dev Prabhu? Is Chinmoy Dev with us?
Yes. Just,
Oh, you are? Okay, because I can't see who's actually with us, and I know you were. I didn't know if you still are. It's on the screen if you like to read the translation.
Okay. I bow to our Guru, Srila Gaur Kishore Das, the pure devotee beyond social class, the bee in the lotus of the feet of Sri Gauranga, who deep in his heart serves Sri Radha forever.
Beautiful. And would you like to read it again? Just because it's good for us.
I bow to our Guru, Srila Gaur Kishore Das, the pure devotee beyond social class, the bee in the lotus of the feet of Sri Gauranga, who deep in his heart serves Sri Radha forever.
Jai. Very beautiful. Jai Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. And now we come on to Vande Bhakti Vinodanam. And this is by Guru Maharaj too for Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And a volunteer can read because I can't see who is present right now. Maybe Praneshwari, I know she's present because that's how we're all connected together here. Praneshwari, open your microphone, click. It's on the screen.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. I bow down to Sri Thakur Bhakti Vinod, Mahaprabhu's love divine personified. He is the king of all knowers, of the purpose of the scriptures, and he is the ocean of Sri Radha's devotion.
And again.
I bow down to Sri Thakur Bhakti Vinod, Mahaprabhu's love divine personified. He is the king of all knowers, of the purpose of the scriptures, and he is the ocean of Sri Radha's devotion.
Beautiful. Jai Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. And then one more, Jagannathas Babaji Maharaj, Gaura Braja Sheta Sheshaya. And Paramananda, who is here with us still? Question mark. If you are, Paramananda, would you like to read this?
Maharaj,
Yes.
the great venerable grandsire of pure devotion, loved by all Vaishnavas of both Navadvip and Vṛndāvan. I worship the feet of that great Vaishnava Guru, the ocean of love, Srila Jagannath Prabhu. Jai Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Jai.
Jai, yes. The great venerable grandsire of pure devotion, loved by all Vaishnavas of both Navadvip and Vṛndāvan. I worship the feet of that great Vaishnava Guru, the ocean of love, Sri Jagannatha Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai. Wonderful things in 3 chats in the chat box. Praneshwari. Oh, I see. Gaudiya Gitanjali. 9th edition. Oh, okay. Driver on Drive C, we see where it is. And, oh, the next 2, they are the book. They are the book. Maybe. No, they're the Pranam Mantras, perhaps.
Yes, only the 2 Pranam Mantras. The book I couldn't share on time, so now I'm just sharing the link on our CS Math.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
okay.
I'm having problems with my Adobe.
No problem, no problem. We know the challenges and have been facing digital challenges this week also, with things that are meant to work and don't always work quite the way they're meant to. Hare Krishna. Well, what I would like to suggest this week, so, Vṛndāvan Chandra Prabhu joined us in the dark. Dandavat Vṛndāvan Chandra Prabhu and Bhagavan Prabhu joined us, not quite in the dark, but with the light behind him. Prabhu, our Dandavat to you. And Udaran Prabhu, yes, we mentioned before, I'm sure. Udaran Prabhu is with us from Latvia. And Ekadashi Devidasi just joined. And Chintamani was with us before, and I hope we mentioned her too. So to each of you individually, and those who may be with us, Anukul Chandra Prabhu, and others who are with us on the Zoom, on the Facebook also, very welcome. And so we're here together, and this week we have Keshavananda Prabhu with us, and he is in Vṛndāvan. And we always want to have some touch of Navadvip, of Vṛndāvan, of Puri in particular, these places. And Keshavananda Prabhu, can we first ask you to just give us a little news from Vṛndāvan on our back to basics, making our faith stronger by hearing the glories of Vṛndāvan Dham. But open your microphone. Yes, Prabhu.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat, all the devotees. Well, I can honestly say that now I can see the faces of all the devotees. Now I feel that I am maybe approaching Sri Vṛndāvan Dham. Really, it's not what we think it is. And it's beautiful to be, I'm definitely feeling like the basic bhakta in such an august assembly of devotees. My so many great personalities and stalwart devotees over many, many years, serving faithfully to our beautiful Guru Varga. So that's that's my first point, really, that everything comes with the devotee. They're in the first primary position. The heart of the devotee is everything, including here in the holy Dham. No doubt, we are in the Dham and we're bowing down to that, but it's only through the devotees and through our divine masters that we can have any touch of that recognition, any connection, with that divine and unimaginable plane of innocence and purity and sweetness, and this beautiful thing that is carried to us through the heart of Sri Guru and Vaishnava. So yes, I'm I'm here physically anyway in this place, and happily, you know, in the shelter of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math and Mission, in this again inconceivable place called Sevā Kunj, where we do feel absolutely sheltered and protected by Guru Maharaj and Gurudev here. We know really we're in dangerous territory here, actually. It's very sweet and wonderful, but also it's very risky for us, you know, just babies. And that, in fact, Govardhan Dham is really more our, we would consider more of our home here. Gurudev is there in his samadhi form, his pushpa samadhi, and was always in a very family kind of mood, and it's wonderful. In Govardhan, we always feel we feel the family sweetness of our beautiful devotional family under the care of Gurudev. Here in Vṛndāvan, it's a little bit more intense, right in the heart of that whirl of the lotus flower with Rupa Goswami's Samadhi and Bhajan Kutir just next door, and the water that comes out of our taps downstairs is from the well of Rupa Goswami in Radha Damodar temple. It's not our, it's Guru Maharaj's place, this place. This is the place that Srila Govinda Maharaj made for the Pushpa Samadhi of Guru Maharaj, that he may you know, will continue his service to that. Hear the conch blowing. Jai. That's some prasadam being coming off the altar, I think. Hare Krishna. So we're here very cautiously, really. It's really Guru Maharaj's place, and Gurudev made the guest house here where we're sitting now, for the devotees to have some shelter when coming to do parikrama service here in Vṛndāvan, which is such a wonderful thing for us all. Those of us who've had that experience know very well what a blessing it is from that upper world to have our feet in the dust of the Dham and try and offer some energy and some prayers in this holy place. So Gurudev building the guest house, even before the temple was completed, the guest house came because Gurudev is looking after the devotees, wanting to give them protection and encouragement and shelter in this most holy of places. And by the mercy of the devotees over the last year, even though this last couple of years it's been a little quiet here, but still we were able to, through the mercy of the devotees, we were able to paint the temple and do lots of, and give some nourishment to the buildings and the temple here. So the temple is shining, no doubt. It's shining temple, and the local people come every morning for the darshan of their lordship Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava Rasa Vihariju. They come every morning, so many people for the darshan of these deities that Gurudev is saying are the most beautiful deities. I think in the world, he said. And the small original deities are also incredibly beautiful when we have whatever, I can see, what can I say, but to my eyes, looking beautiful. They're old. They were in the original house, which is just behind us, the property that came with this piece of land. maybe 200 or 300 years old deities, small, Radha Rasa Bihari. So all the local people come every morning and they're banging on the gates and shouting if the pujari is not quite on time. They're very eager, you know, and they're on time. So we hear some rattling of the gates and Bengali cries, come and open the gate. So it's very sweet. And we're coming into that season, of course, of springtime. It's in the air. It's not quite fully blossomed yet, but it's around the corner. We can tell things are waking up, and the parrots. At least the parrots I've noticed this time since I just arrived back. There's so many parrots, and they're all jibber jabbering, talking. What they're saying, we don't know what they're saying, although we've read things in books what they're discussing. We've heard that, and they're definitely, you know, talking with each other and flying around looking so beautiful. And then of course we're pushed into the world of faith. Really, we can't see any of these things. It's only through the faithful eyes of the beautiful vision of our guardians that we can appreciate our surroundings here and where we actually are, devotees being everything. So we're bowing down in every direction. It's been a little quiet the last couple of years, although devotees have visited from various places, but in a more restricted way. But still, devotees are coming, and we're expecting. I can see Varun Krishna Prabhu. Maybe he is heading this way soon, and we've got a couple of Irish devotees in India who will come. So there's some movement, and there's some devotees coming that we're very happy and excited about. Really, when the devotees come, everything becomes more wonderful, extra wonderful, super wonderful. That's when things really come alive, and the family is together, and a very wonderful thing. So we're happy for that. The devotees are starting to visit again, slowly. Things are moving here. Vṛndāvan town itself is very busy, as always. There's many pilgrims come every day from Delhi and from other places. The temples are busy. The monkeys are going on, and the dogs are going on, and the pigs are going on, and the camels sometimes wandering down the street, working very hard. So these small things are very wonderful to behold, actually. The sunrise, the sunset. So, we read it in the Brahma Samhita that the sunlight and moonlight are like nectar, and these, every movement is dancing, every word is sung. And sometimes, and Gurudev says that we're like the bee on the outside of the honey jar. He says, actually, the honey is there when we're like a bee on the outside of the jar. But then he says, but we are close to the honey. So we feel something like that. We're on the outside of the jar. There's no question about that. But we are near the honey. There's honey there for sure. Probably, some wondrous honey. So I'm thinking now of the Russian devotees who always bring amazing honey from Siberia, and the California devotees who bring honey from SoCal, from Krishna's bees, Gurudev's bees in SoCal. So we're close to that honey. So we're feeling very fortunate. And there was one little thing I wanted to read, because you know, coming here, there's always so many things to do. The buildings need maintaining. Who will do the puja? Who's cooking? Who's this? Who's that? Vrinda, we know we only have a handful of devotees here, like in many temples around the world. It's not a big crew here. There's a few devotees trying just to go on, you know, to do the puja, to make the offerings, to keep the buildings together and clean, and so many things. So when I got here, my head, you know, I'm thinking, oh, so many things, what could do this to do? And then I found in a book, I've got my case of books here, and I found this beautiful little card of Srila Prabhupada. Comes from his Pushpa Samadhi Mandir in Mayapur, Nadia, West Bengal. And on the back, there's a few little quotes. And the first one was this. It was a letter to Satsvarup in November 1971. And Srila Prabhupada says, preaching is more important than managing. Just because you are preaching nicely and distributing so much prasadam, the management will follow like a shadow, and Krishna will send you no end of help. So very, you know, Prabhupada's really saying what it's all about. All this is to facilitate that, to facilitate the singing of the glories of Sri Guru and Vaishnava, Bhagavan. And we're in the process of cleaning and reopening the bookstore, the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati and Mission bookstore. And, you know, we're surrounded by so many famous holy places here. But this bookstore is no doubt, it's right up there. It's right up there because it's everything. Those books of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj, Guru Varga, they're the key, the gate, they're everything. They're coming from their divine hearts. Otherwise, what do we know of any of these things? So that was a very timely message. Just a little thing to read on the back of a card, Srila Prabhupada saying this back in 1971. Don't worry about that. You just preach this. You do that, everything else will come. So so we're getting some nourishment from the heart of Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada down the decades, down the centuries, down eternally. The words of the Vaishnava coming to give us heart nourishment and heart sustenance, and to try to live in that world of faith. Shraddha Mayoyam Purusha, to see in that way and not to give much credence or attention just to the machinations of the crazy mind, but to hear and try to see and live through the divine eyes and heart of the Vaishnavas, who are the real agents of reality, who are really seeing and living in that divine, beautiful dancing play always. So we're feeling you know, happy to be here, and there's lots of service to do always. Uma Didi's going on, you know, another stalwart lady, sister in Govardhan, unstoppable. And she has a little help there now. Muktinath Prabhu from Ukraine is there, so he's been very useful. He developed, well, maybe he had before, but in Villa Govinda in Italy, he was doing many like construction projects and things like that, very useful person. So I I got sick when I first arrived, so I haven't been to Govardhan yet, but hope to go soon to our real home, you can say, in Vṛndāvan, under the merciful shade and glance of Giri Govardhan. So, and we also haven't seen our managers, care managers, our Maheshwari Didi and Sandeep Prabhu. They're in great Anoida. I haven't seen them yet, but they will come soon, I think, to Govardhan. And they're taking care remotely, trying to organize the Sevā here. So what can I say? Everything is going on. Everything is going on in Sri Vṛndāvan. We just need to, adjust myself that I can see that and not so many other things, really. And happy to see the devotees from all over the world. I thought this is the first, I think this is the first time I've been to the back to basics Zoom. And I thought it was American in the sense that it was, but I see, in fact, it's like the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mata itself. We're an international family, and we may come to Florida or we may come to California for our meeting, but in fact, we're universal family. In Australia, I see Rupanuga Prabhu, they're down under. So it's enlivening to see the devotees from the four corners of the world gathered here to hear these wonderful things and to get nourishment to go on with our service lives, trying to do that anyway, trying to be a servitor one day. I want to be a devotee one day through the grace of the devotees. There's a possibility, I hope. Hare Krishna.
And where is service? That is the right place for us. So Keshavanandu, he is in Vṛndāvan in the mood of service, and in not only mood of service, for service. And this way able to be in that special place, protected by that Sevā bubble, the Sevā covering. And can I just ask a quick question? And that is, I know you must have been, but can you just give a little report about Radha Damodar next door, the temple, the parikrama, everything looking the same? What news from there?
Not everything looking the same much, as we know. What we can see is changing all the time, everything changing all the time, really. So some changes to our, fleshy eye in Radha Damodar, no doubt. But still.
But the main courtyard is the same, and the altar?
The main courtyard is the same, but behind where the samadhis are, there's a big building that's been built above. They're sort of inside now. Not really finished, because they built an altar there where I heard the Panchatattva were going to be installed in that back area, but they haven't appeared there. So it's a little, but I think the building work is more or less finished. It's not like a building site at the back anymore. And I haven't seen upstairs in that building, because if you remember when it was very nice, when it was like a big festival day in Radha Damodar, like Jiva Goswami's appearance day or disappearance day, we'd go there for the feast. And it was a very, not Bengali style feast, Vṛndāvan style feast. So it was only 2 or 3 preparations, but it was something super sweet, because we're used to the, wet sabji, dry sabji, rice, dal, so and so. This was like simple sabji, maybe aloo gobi or something. I don't think it had paneer. It was just I say, aloo gobi, puris, lots of puris, and then some sweet, this little pancake. What's it called? I can't remember the name of it. But it was very funny because we'd sit on the roof and all around the roof, boys were stationed with sticks, because on the other roofs, the monkeys are just waiting, hanging around. And then the baskets of puris would come up the stairs. And then the hit and run raids from the monkeys. They just run across, grab what they could and bounce off to another roof. So it was all very exciting on the roof of Vṛndāvan. But now they've built a prasadam hall, monkey-proof, a monkey-proof prasadam hall upstairs in this new building. But I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen it. And I think there's some kind of museum or something up in that building, but I haven't seen those things yet.
Okay.
But
it's no longer the feeling of a building site. So that's something
yes,
good.
so that's very nice. And the deities, they have it so you can't go up the steps at the moment. I don't know whether that's just a pandemic thing or something, you down a little bit. But still just walking into, Srila Prabhupada saying, this temple of Jiva Goswami is my heart and soul.
Yeah.
That place. So, and we know from his time, things have changed so much and they'll continue to change, and the external show will always be changing. But if we're fortunate, then, and we are fortunate, there's no question, we're fortunate beyond measure to have some place in the affectionate care of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, then we can appreciate that, have some appreciation for that. Oh, and Divya Shakti Didi, I see he's just come happily.
Right, Divya Shakti Devi Dasi, and she also came on Facebook just before and sent her obeisances to all of the devotees on Facebook. So she's simultaneously in two places, mystic devotees.
Yes, everything, we're getting encouragement here, and just, what is it? Vaishnavera Namate Ulasa. The name of the devotees are my happiness. Just remembering the names, remembering the devotees gives us strength and gives us so many blessings to have a presence in the hearts of the devotees, an affectionate place in the heart of the devotees is, worth more than gold. It's the priceless treasure of our lives, and our lives are passing by. We know our lives are passing by, but that affection is something that carries us and fills us with happiness and hope that, yes, one day I want to go in that direction with these wonderful brothers and sisters and uncles and aunties, and all under the beautiful lotus feet of Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, and as we were singing before, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, these personalities who somehow or other, by the causeless mercy of the Vaishnava, we are in their family. We've been invited to give up, to come out of our cave. Guru Maharaj says we have come out of our cave in order to march to Vṛndāvan. It's like that, we have come out of our caves and we want to go in that direction. So die to live. And don't be fearful. This is going in the line of reality, the beautiful. And
another short question that Guru Maharaj in his Premadama Stotram says that Mahaprabhu, and therefore it is called, Mahaprabhu never leaves from Imli Tala. And Imli Tala, for those who don't know, is just behind our temple, and it's on the banks of the river Jamuna. And just, can you briefly just take us in, give us darshan, and then,
Yes.
then we'll feel even more satisfied.
Yes, Imli Tala is the origin of Gauda Tattva, in the words of Guru Maharaj, the origin of Gauda Tattva, Imli Tala, next door. And again, in this Chamatkar land of astonishment in which we've been invited to live, they are our neighbors and heart neighbors as well. Sanatan Prabhu, still there, getting older as we all are, but he's still there, still serving there. The deities of Radha Gopinath, always looking too much beautiful. The cows come in to the temple and come to the rail for darshan. Sometimes they sit down and listen to any singing that might be going on in the temple. So it's very unusual. You don't see, even in Vṛndāvan, you don't see that everywhere. The cows actually in the temple room. But in Imli Tala, they come in. It's the place of Bhaktisharanga Goswami Maharaj, a very dear godbrother of our Srila Guru Maharaj. So in many ways, it's our neighbor, you know, in not just physical proximity, but in the land of heart and the land of reality. So yes, not really big changes there that I can see. Very nicely maintained, all the dioramas of Mahaprabhu's Leela around the walls there so nicely. It's always wonderful to go around and remember each pastime as you see the dioramas. I think diorama is perhaps not the right word, but the bas relief in the walls, all painted very nicely.
And how high is the Jamuna right now? How full is the Jamuna?
Quite full at the moment, but it can vary day to day because there's so many kind of gates and things up the river that literally we can go down today and it will be high, and tomorrow it will be low, and then the next day it will be will be high again. And I miss the monsoon season, because that's very wonderful, I think, because then, you know, when man is exploiting
you're freezing.
Dear. Keshavananda, we cannot hear you. He probably can't see us also. Oh dear, we ran out of good fortune to be hearing about the river Jamuna, the monsoon season. However, really, it is very, I mean, I think for all of us, I'm sure, Keshavananda, somehow your internet is in winter mode. It is frozen up.
You are also frozen, Maharaj.
I am.
He will try to
frozen now?
No, you're okay. You're okay. Keshavananda Prabhu will try again.
Okay, anyhow, I mean, for me, I can say it was just very wonderful. And this is one of the basics of our life, to be able to go and follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, oh, I long to go and visit the places of Mahaprabhu and the devotees in the association of the loving devotees. So we've got a little touch of, not just a little touch, we've got quite a touch of Vṛndāvan this morning. coming to Vṛndāvan Dham. And those places of Radha Damodar and Imli Tala, which are inseparable from us, Chaitanya Saraswati Mat, and the Sevā Kunj, which is the area where we are in. And for Sevā, then Keshavananda Prabhu is there, and to help maintain, look after, and do the various programs which take place there. And so today we got a little touch of Vṛndāvan, and very happily. And we can, go further into the theme, and maybe he can give us a little tour another time. But as it happened today, this is how our Back to Basics came. We've gone on a pilgrimage to Vṛndāvan Dham, and we see by hearing, and we're hearing, as you understand, not just the physical things, which the physical nature of what is taking place, but Prabhu's giving so much appreciation for the devotees. And we are visiting Vṛndāvan Dham today. So this also very extraordinary time when we can be there via Zoom, via Skype, via this, that, and the other. And we can be with the devotees. And there too in Vṛndāvan, there is Srila Gurudev's room, which is very much as when Gurudev was there. And his veranda, actually his veranda, he spent time sitting outside his room, rather, his room has two sets of doors that open into his room, and the window that opens into his room. But his veranda there was an intimate and happy place where Gurudev would sit. So Vṛndāvan is a very special place. And slightly he touched on the fact that right next door, Jiva Goswami, right next door, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, right next door, Rupa Goswami. This is the very center of Vṛndāvan. And Jiva Goswami arranged that the other Goswamis and that the senior residents of Vṛndāvan, that they'll come there to the Radha Damodar as the central place, that physically central, but also Jiva Goswami being young, he could make arrangement to look after the visiting sannyasis, etc. And he would arrange the regular Harikatha there at the Radha Damodar temple. So it's all very special. And our temple that came also came in a very special way. Gurudev did not want that we'll have somewhere in the center of Vṛndāvan. But all this has come about, and this is part of the inheritance or the hereditary of our Chaitanya Saraswati Mat, that we have these super special places. And Navadip, Vṛndāvan, and Puri, each of these places, our presentation, our presence there is very special. Each has come around about in a special way. Keshavananda Prabhu, you put us into separation. But you need to unmute your phone if you're going to say a word or two. You're outside now, is it? I see you are walking.
Right. I'm on the roof just looking for monkeys, but I think I'm safe. But it's very misty here. We can see our beautiful dome of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat and mission, and we can see, we were just talking.
Imli Tala.
Where
yes.
is?
Yes. No. Yes. Right there.
So a little roof darshan mini parikrama, and down we can see down into Radha Damodar here. There, down inside the courtyard of Radha Damodar on a misty but not cold, not so cold morning in Sri Vṛndāvan Dham. Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful. Prabhu, one thing, please carry a stick. Don't get your phone stolen. We don't
Yes.
want darshan. We don't want darshan of Vṛndāvan, the monkey's view. There, look, this is 360 degree. This is some parikrama. Oh, there, yes, Sevā Kunja, Lalita Kunja.
Yes, Sevā
Dome.
Kunj Dome there. Yes. I don't think if I go over here, there's one place where we have darshan of Madan Mohan, but I think it might be a little too misty.
From this
Yes.
roof, just so that all the devotees know, from this roof, you can actually see the temples of Radha Madana Mohan, of Radha Govinda, and Radha Gopinath, as well as Imlitala, Radha Damodar, Shyamasundar, and other temples also we can see from the roof. And
Yes, we can see Bailvan, the other side of the river, the green and the background there. You can just see just a sliver of Chamuna Devi.
Jai. All right. Many thanks, Keshavananda Prabhu. More than we could have expected, and we're very happy that you're there. Got some inside representation, and our back to basics this week. It's highlight visit to Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math and Mission in Vṛndāvan with the devotees, with Keshavananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Please give obeisances to whoever's there that we know. But in BBBC, one of the stalwarts. Oh, look, there's the road. There's Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's temple right there.
That's Kaviraj Goswami's building.
Vṛndāvan Chandra, his deity.
Jai, yeah. Yes. Yes.
All right. Keshavananda Prabhu, our obeisances to you, our obeisances to all of the assembled devotees. And we had a little bit of a special back to basics this time. And our hearts, they used to have, and still I see it's around, a t-shirt which perhaps they gave away free by the thousands, because there's a t-shirt which said, I lost my heart in Vṛndāvan. And this was a very prominent t-shirt, but by a little touch of Vṛndāvan, as we see here, then we can understand how devotees do lose their heart in Vṛndāvan. But we must be very...
Maharaj, a proper way of saying, I got my heart stolen in Vṛndāvan. That will be ontologically correct.
Jai.
Beautiful. Yes, so dear devotees and Paramananda Prabhu, including Paramananda Prabhu. So dear devotees, we've not had much of a chance to hear from each other today so much. We read at the beginning the Pranam Mantras to our Sri Guru Vaga. But we've been all ears and seeing Vṛndāvan through our ears and catching the feel and the mood of Chaitanya Saraswati Mat there in Vṛndāvan, what Gurudev has given for the devotees' shelter when they visit Vṛndāvan on pilgrimage, or if they have service, then to be there. And we don't have Muktinath Prabhu with us this week, but we can certainly encourage and ask that he can show us and be with us a little bit in Govardhan, or when you go to Govardhan, Keshavananda Prabhu, if you're there perhaps in a few days or one of these times, then we can also see Govardhan, the Govardhan of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj and Saraswati Thakur, of course. All right, wonderful. With this start to our day in this part of the world, and the end of your day on the western, the distant, remote corner of the world, of those in the States, then what a wonderful way to end a day, what a wonderful way to start a day, what a wonderful way, whatever the day. Jai Shri Vṛndāvan Dham Ki Jai, and our deities there, as Keshavananda said, Gurudev saying, the most beautiful deities, in the world in our temple in Vṛndāvan. Saparika Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhavika Rasa Bihariju Ki Jai. And the small deities, which Gurudev tells, those deities talk. The small deities from the original house just behind, maybe Keshananda can show us that house now, from the roof. The Shri Radha Rasa Bihariju Ki Jai. And Jai Shri Sevā Kunj Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Matan Mission Ki Jai, Shri Vṛndāvan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki Jai, Jai Saparika Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundar in Navadip Ki Jai. Okay, this is the roof of the traditional Vṛndāvan house behind our house, behind our ashram. This is all part of the property of Chaitanya Saraswati Mata. And when you walk into that through the door, then you can see there's a kind of a square part at the top, and it's actually open space covered on all four sides, and so it makes it very cool inside. But then the very first room you see, it is the altar, the most prominent room. It is the altar where Radha and Radha Krishna means Radha Rasa Bihari Prabhu, where they were worshipped for hundreds of years, for plenty of a long time. And then came to our temple. All right, Shri Jamuna Ji Ki Jai, Jai Shri Ganga Mai Ki Jai, and Jai Shri Purushottam Dham Ki Jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Ji Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj's Pushpa Samadhi, right there on the altar in our temple. Srila Guru Maharaj's Pushpa Samadhi Ki Jai. And Jai Shri Radha Damada Ki Jai, Radha Vṛndāvan Chandra Ki Jai, Radha Madhav Ki Jai, Radha Child Chikan Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sanatana Goswami's Giriraj Shila Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutir Ki Jai. Rupa Goswami's Samadhi Mandir Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jiva Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Shri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Oh, so many wonderful Jais for Vṛndāvan throughout. To all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, and one by one to each of you our obeisances, appreciation and encouragement to keep going moment by moment, day by day, until we meet again soon. And Madhavi Didi joined us too here on the Zoom. Madhavi, Dandavat. Hare Krishna. May our
Madhasudan Maharaj Ki Jai.
May our lives always go in the right direction by the grace of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Netai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Dandavat, dear devotees, and very
Maharaj, and Dandavats from Ananda Moy in Canada and Kitty Kadamba in Australia.
Oh, very good. Yes, Dandavat from all of us, and to each of you, to you both. Very happy to know you're there. Wonderful, dear devotees, Vṛndāvan Chandru, so near. So nearby, but unfortunately Italy's closed its borders to Ukraine for the time being. Oh dear. But may the opportunity come soon. Yes, Nirupama, you always have a standing invitation. Don't wait to be asked, you know. All right, Dandavat, dear devotees, Ami Aschi. I leave you together, but I need to go. Dandavat.
Dandavats Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. And thank you, Keshavananda Prabhu. Big call to Keshavananda. You treated us today, Keshavananda Prabhu. We're indebted.
You treated me, all the devotees. That's my Hare Krishna. Dandavat, everyone. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna.